Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Mecca, and in today's video we're going to be checking out something with an interesting title. But unlike previous videos where I could guess what the video is about and give you an interesting introduction, this title has me clueless. Let me just read it out to you. It's called End of Space, Creating a Prison for Humanity. It's from Kurzgesagt. So what is this video about? I mean, from the title, it sounds like maybe it's talking about overpopulation, or maybe the fact that we might not be able to travel to other planets because of limits to physics and the ever expansion of the universe. I don't know. Let's get into it and figure this out. But if you enjoy videos like this, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We're going for the 100 sub challenge. I'm trying to get to 100 subs, and then from there on we could go for another milestone. But the first one is 100 subscribers. So if you want to support me, make sure you subscribe and like the video. Let's get into it.
Space travel is the most exciting and challenging adventure humanity has ever undertaken.
Okay. So it sounds like just from that first intro scene that it's talking about traveling and not being stuck on Earth.
But in an irony of history, we may stop ourselves from going into space the more we do it.
Why?
With every rocket launched and with every satellite deployed, we're creating a trap for ourselves that gets deadlier and more dangerous every year.
Oh, okay. Hold on. For every satellite we launch, could it mean the space debris that's around the Earth? Could it be talking about all the thousands of satellites that's zooming around the planet? Could be a hazard to fly by in the future.
If it's ever activated, it could end the space age and trap us on our planet for decades or even centuries.
If it's ever activated, what are they talking about? Let's see Kurzgesagt. Oh yeah. Kurzgesagt. Let's go.
Getting something into space is incredibly hard.
Yeah, you see all those containers of fuel just getting ejected. Don't they end up back on Earth or getting destroyed in the atmosphere? Or are they just flying around in space, orbiting the Earth?
To do so, you need to move very, very fast. At first straight up to leave the atmosphere, then sideways to begin a sort of circling around the Earth, still very, very fast. If you do that successfully, you can enter a low Earth orbit. Okay. And once in orbit, it's very hard to get out of orbit.
I did not know that. My assumption is that once you're in orbit, you're facing less gravity. So wouldn't that make it easier than the actual process from the ground level?
Unless you have energy to spare, you're sort of locked in here, falling around the Earth forever.
Okay, maybe that's why, because there's not enough fuel left. You spend all the fuel getting to orbit.
That's great for things we want to stay up, like space stations and satellites. And so we moved the majority of humanity's space infrastructure to this place, just a few hundred kilometers above the surface. Just high enough so that the atmosphere is so thin that orbiting things can stay up for centuries before air resistance can slow them enough to bring them back to Earth.
Okay.
But this is also the source of our deadly trap. Rockets are really metal cylinders that keep big piles of fuel in place. Whenever a portion of the fuel has been spent, the empty tanks are dropped to make the rocket lighter. Some parts crash down to Earth or burn up in the atmosphere. But most of the useless rocket parts stay up and begin to orbit the planet.
Wow. Did you guys know that? They said most of those parts actually just stay in space orbiting. That's crazy. Practically making a junkyard in the orbit of the Earth.
After decades of space travel, low Earth orbit is a junkyard of spent boosters, broken satellites, and millions of pieces of shrapnel from missile tests and explosions.
These are millions of pieces? Oh my God.
Right now, we know of around 2,600 defunct satellites, 10,000 objects bigger.
Wow. 2,600 non-functional satellites still spinning around the globe. 10,000 objects.
Than a monitor, 20,000 as large as an apple.
20,000. I'm surprised they could even track that. As large as an apple? 10,000 as large as a monitor.
500,000 pieces the size of a marble, and at
500. Okay, these got to be estimates. How would they? Do we have tracking capabilities of things the size of a marble going around the orbit of the Earth? We're able to track that? That is incredible if we are.
least 100 million parts so small they can't be tracked.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So, you know, the 500,000 looks like nothing compared to the 100 million that can't be tracked. Jeez.
This debris is moving at speeds of up to 30,000 kilometers per hour, circling Earth on crisscrossing orbits multiple times a day.
God
Orbital
damn.
speeds are so fast that being hit by debris the size of a pea is like being shot by a plasma gun.
The size of a pea will wreck you. Just wreck you like a plasma gun. That's just now more and more debris is just being sent up there every day. Okay, now I understand the title, Kurzgesagt. We're creating a prison where it's a deadly task to just escape orbit.
On impact, the debris vaporizes, releasing enough energy to punch holes straight through solid metal.
Damn.
So, we've covered the space around our planet with millions of deadly pieces of destruction.
But here's the thing. Wouldn't we be facing these same problems going anywhere in space due to the fact of all the asteroids and materials just floating in space? And they could come in all kinds of sizes, right? So essentially, for even space travel to be feasible, you need to build some kind of shielding that could protect you from all these obstacles to survive in deep space, I would think.
And we also put a $1 trillion global infrastructure network right in the danger zone.
And the thing too is, though, I know in space it's empty voids. There's great distances of empty void, but do we have the tracking capabilities to see tiny objects coming at us in the middle of nowhere?
It performs critical duties essential to the modern world: global communication, GPS and navigation, collecting weather data, looking out for asteroids.
So like all these satellites are surviving out there right now. There is a lot of space if you think about it. It's just unpredictable when something might hit you though, right? If it's an object that's not being tracked.
And all manner of scientific discoveries.
Laser ranging, thermal imaging. Okay, the laser ranging. What is that? Is that like that looks like a gravitational well right there. I wonder what this does. Laser ranging.
Things we would miss very much if they suddenly went away. If just one pea-sized bullet hits one of our 1,100 working satellites, it will be destroyed instantly.
Just one of these pea-sized items and poof, there goes, poof, there goes that satellite. Oh my God.
3 or 4 satellites are already being destroyed this way every year.
Oh, already averaging 3 or 4 satellites this way. Oh my God.
As the number of satellites and the amount of junk in orbit is expected to grow tenfold in the next decade, we're approaching a tipping point.
This is a prison. Okay, I really understand the title now. Okay.
But the worst thing in space is not tiny pieces of junk. The worst thing would be an unstoppable chain reaction that turns a lot of non-junk things into junk. For example, if 2 satellites hit each other in just the right way. If satellites collide, they don't stop and fall out of the sky. It's more of a splash than a crash.
Damn. That just creates a zillion new pieces.
Orbital speeds are so fast, solid pieces spray right through each other, transforming the 2 satellites into clouds of thousands of little things, still fast enough to destroy more satellites.
Oh my God. My God. I could see the chain reaction. It just, and it splatters. It splatters. Oh my goodness. Splatters and creates huge clouds that go on to destroy more satellites, which just has a snowball effect on and on.
This could trigger the slowest and most destructive sort of domino effect, a collision cascade. Like a shotgun spray, each collision creates more bullets. What was once a single tiny target, very unlikely to hit anything, becomes a wall of destruction.
Wow, no more satellite TV. No more weather reports. No more Elon SpaceX satellite internet. Oh my God.
Hungry to make more. As more and more satellites are destroyed, the destruction accelerates exponentially, eventually destroying everything parked in orbit.
Damn, eventually destroying everything.
But space is very empty, so the first few collisions may take a long time. By the time we realize what's happening, it's too late. 1 year, 1 satellite is destroyed, and that's no big deal. The next year, 5. The year after, 50. And
Whoa. Hold up. They're already saying we average 4 satellites being destroyed this way right now, right? And what is this math?
until there's nothing left. The situation in orbit is rapidly worsening, and we may already be past the point of no return.
Wow. It's getting crazy.
Within 10 years, space around Earth may no longer be viable for long-term satellites or rockets. The worst-case scenario is horrifying. A debris field made of hundreds of millions of pieces, many too small to track, moving at 30,000 kilometers per hour.
Damn. I was hoping I could go create my own spaceship and fly out sometime. But now, what the hell? Like, you're going to have to look at the debris weather report?
It would effectively create a deadly barrier around Earth, possibly too dangerous to cross.
Can't there be cleanup crews? Can't this be cleaned up, destroyed? No, if you blow it up, it's just going to create more pieces, right? You're going to have to collect them or somehow dash them into further, deeper space.
Dreams of moon bases, Mars colonies, or space travel at all
Space taxi. Oh my God.
may be set back centuries. And the loss of our space infrastructure would send some of the technology we rely on daily.
I know. Oh my God. Imagine no GPS coordinates to get you from point A to B. Society would crumble.
Back to the 1970s. But it might not be too late to clean up our mess. While the space industry
There's a way to clean it up. Let's go.
has become better at avoiding space junk, it's still growing fast, and occasional weapon tests don't help. So there have been a couple of wild but also serious suggestions about how to quickly remove as much deadly space junk as possible
Vacuum that bad boy.
without creating more in the process. Lots of ideas are being thrown around, and some of the most seriously considered involve capture and return missions, which are being tested now.
Right?
One method involves meeting a piece of junk in orbit with a small satellite loaded with a net. Once caught, a small rocket could be used to bring it down towards Earth. Targets too large for a net might be instead caught with a harpoon on a tether.
This is like deep sea exploration and fishing.
Instead of firing a rocket, the cleaner would deploy a large sail to produce atmospheric drag and accelerate orbital decay. And there are lots of other wild sci-fi sounding proposals too. Some might use giant electromagnets. These
could that have other consequences? Sending giant electromagnets into low Earth orbit? Could that have impacts on the environment somehow?
magnetic tugs work by pushing on the magnetic components inside satellites that they use to stabilize and orientate themselves in Earth's magnetic field.
This could also probably be useful for really, really tiny objects.
These may be safer and more reliable than nets and harpoons because they never have to make contact with the junk they're handling, so there's no risk of accidentally breaking up their target into more junk. As for the tiniest bits of junk, lasers might be the key to...
Damn, why did Bird gotta get that? Why in every Kurzgesagt video, birds are getting hurt? They're getting destroyed. They're feeling the full blunt of the Kurzgesagt animators.
vaporizing them entirely. Satellites with lasers wouldn't need to visit their targets, they can shoot them from far away.
This sounds like a weapon. I don't know how many countries would be okay with this flying in orbit, because after they're done vaporizing stuff in orbit, who's to say they can't just point towards another target on the ground? Maybe they don't have that kind of range. Maybe there's that.
Large objects can't exactly be shot down, but lasers can be used to ablate them or burn tiny amounts of material off the side to push the junk to a safer orbit. Whatever technology we use in the end, we better start doing.
And the laser, I mean, what if it breaks it up into even more tiny components floating around? That sounds like a problem too.
Something soon, before 100 million bullets become a trillion and the trap is set.
Jeez. A trillion? Trillion?
If we don't act, our adventure in space might end before it's even begun.
Could that also protect us from a space invasion?
If our days of dreaming about space exploration...
Okay, so that was the end of that video. And, you know, more gloom and doom from Kurzgesagt. And you know what? This seems like a real problem that needs proactive initiative. Governments are not going to spend money to try to clean up junk in space at this time until it becomes a real problem. But it should be considered a national security problem if all your satellites start getting vaporized by space junk. Yeah, we definitely, I don't know if there's programs already working on this problem, but if it's an exponential problem, like where it grows at a crazy rate, if we don't nip it in the butt early enough, then god damn it, they need to wake up and assign some budget towards this to resolve this problem, because it would be highly ironic if we trap ourselves on Earth, right? Very ironic. And we're trying to be a multi-planetary, maybe even a galactic civilization. Wouldn't that be something special? But anyways, if you're into these type of thought-provoking videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. That's the goal right now. So I appreciate you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one. Meet me in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this video. See you soon.